The Radical Power of Vulnerability: How Black Women Are Rewriting the Rules of Success. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey that challenges everything we've been taught about power, success, and leadership. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Dr. Kerry Ann Zamore, a visionary leader who is fundamentally transforming how we think about strength, vulnerability, and success, particularly for Black women in professional spaces. Dr. Zamora isn't just changing individual lives, she's dismantling entire systems of thought that have kept too many of us trapped in cycles of exhaustion and disconnection. Her revolutionary work sits at the intersection of professional excellence and radical authenticity, creating pathways for a new kind of leadership that honors both intelligence and heart, resilience and softness. In a world that often asks marginalized people to fragment themselves to succeed, Dr. Zamore is showing us that our wholeness is actually our greatest power. What struck me most profoundly in our conversation was this counterintuitive truth: the very qualities we've been conditioned to hide, our vulnerability, our authenticity, our full emotional range, might actually be our greatest professional assets. Let that sink in for a moment. We live in a world that tells us, especially if we're Black women, that to succeed we must be invincible, unshakable. We must never show weakness. We must always be strong. This message comes from everywhere, from well meaning family who want to protect us, from media that rarely shows our vulnerability, from workplaces where we're often the only one and feel we can't afford to slip. We internalize this message until it becomes our identity. I am the strong one. I am the one who handles everything. I am the one who never breaks. But here's the radical proposition that emerged from my conversation with Dr. Zamori. This armor we've built, this perpetual strength, comes at an enormous cost. It disconnects us from ourselves, it exhausts us, it limits our leadership potential. And perhaps most importantly, it prevents us from accessing the very qualities that drive true innovation and connection. Dr. Zamore's research reveals something profoundly disruptive. Embracing vulnerability and authenticity can be the most powerful tools for professional and entrepreneurial growth, especially for Black women. Contrary to the common belief that we must always appear strong and unbreakable, her work shows that softness, empathy, and openness can drive transformative leadership and success. This isn't just inspirational talk, there's compelling evidence behind it. Consider the story of Kerry, an AI powered platform designed specifically to support entrepreneurs from underrepresented backgrounds. This innovative tool emerged from a recognition that many Black entrepreneurs face significant barriers in accessing tailored business intelligence and strategic guidance. The traditional avenues for support, venture capital, high level mentorship, elite networks, remain frustratingly closed to many. But instead of accepting this reality, the creators of Carry decided to harness technology to democratize access to business expertise. They built a platform that provides accessible, data driven insights and personalized support, empowering entrepreneurs to make informed decisions without depending on exclusive networks. The results have been transformative. Users report not just improved business outcomes, but something equally valuable: increased confidence in navigating competitive markets. One entrepreneur shared, "For the first time, I feel like I have a strategic partner who understands my unique challenges and doesn't judge me when I don't know something." What makes this example so powerful is how it illustrates a core principle from Dr. Zamore's work. Strategic growth requires both heart and intelligence. The most effective business solutions combine empathy with data driven decision making. They recognize that success isn't just about the numbers, it's about understanding people, building relationships, and creating systems that support human flourishing. But this raises an important question: how do we develop these capacities in ourselves and others? How do we create environments where authenticity is valued and vulnerability is seen as strength? This brings me to another powerful insight from my conversation with Dr. Zamore. She emphasized that resilience is built through community and mentorship. The myth of the self made success story is just that, a myth. Behind every resilient leader is a network of support, guidance, and wisdom. Dr. Zamori exemplifies this principle in her own work. She's recognized for building systems, mentoring talent, and delivering results with empathy and resilience. Her approach addresses a critical challenge. Black professionals often lack access to mentors who understand their unique experiences and challenges. By implementing mentorship programs and building supportive systems, she fosters growth and confidence in ways that transform careers and lives. One of her mentees, a brilliant woman who had been repeatedly passed over for promotion despite outstanding performance, shared how transformative this approach was. Dr. Zamore helped me see that my tendency to handle everything myself, to never ask for help or show uncertainty, wasn't serving me. When I started bringing my whole self to work, including my questions and my need for support, my leadership actually became more impactful. And surprisingly, people responded with more respect, not less. This story challenges our individualistic notions of success. We often celebrate grit and personal determination, and these qualities matter, but they're not enough. True resilience emerges from community, from systems of support, from relationships that allow us to be both strong and vulnerable. This brings me to perhaps the most provocative question Dr. Zamori addresses in her work: can we do it all? This persistent question faced by Black women often leads to burnout and feelings of inadequacy. We're expected to juggle multiple roles: professional, familial, community without dropping a single ball. The pressure is immense and the cost is high. Dr. Zamore's response is both compassionate and revolutionary. She advocates for redefining success by prioritizing well being, setting boundaries, and embracing support. Drawing from her own struggles with overextension, she used her platform to spark honest conversations about balance and fulfillment. One woman who attended Dr. Zamore's workshop on this topic shared, I came in feeling like a failure because I couldn't manage everything perfectly. I left understanding that the problem wasn't me, it was the impossible standard I was holding myself to. For the first time in my adult life, I gave myself permission to say no to things that were draining me, even good things. And my work actually improved because I was bringing my full, rested self to it. This shift represents a fundamental challenge to how we've traditionally thought about achievement. We've been taught that success requires sacrifice of our time, our health, our relationships, our authentic selves. But what if true success includes wholeness? What if the most powerful leadership comes not from pushing through exhaustion, but from honoring our needs and boundaries? Let me be clear. This isn't about lowering our ambitions or diminishing our drive. It's about recognizing that our capacity for impact expands when we bring our whole selves to our work, including our vulnerability, our need for support, our full humanity. This brings me to three key insights that emerged from my conversation with Dr. Zamore. Principles that have the power to transform not just individual careers, but entire organizations and communities. First, authenticity is an asset, not a liability. Bringing your whole self, including your softness and your struggles, into your work can create deeper connections and drive real results. When we stop performing strength and start embodying authentic leadership, we create spaces where innovation and collaboration can flourish. Second, resilience is built through community and mentorship. Seeking support and building systems around you are crucial to overcoming adversity. The myth of the lone hero who succeeds through sheer willpower isn't just unrealistic, it's harmful. True resilience emerges from connection, from networks of support that allow us to fall and rise again. Third, strategic growth requires both heart and intelligence. Combining empathy with data driven decision making leads to sustainable success. The most effective leaders don't choose between being analytical and being compassionate. They integrate these capacities, recognizing that both are essential for navigating complex challenges. These principles challenge deeply held assumptions about what it takes to succeed, especially for Black women. They invite us to reimagine leadership in ways that honor our full humanity. They suggest that the path to greater impact might not be through more armor, but through more authenticity. So, where do we go from here? How do we begin to apply these revolutionary insights in our own lives and work? I challenge you today to examine where you might be hiding behind a mask of invulnerability. Ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped shrinking and chose to lead with both my heart and my intelligence? How might my business, my career, my community transform if I allowed myself to be fully seen? This isn't just a personal question, it's a revolutionary one. Because when we begin to redefine strength to include vulnerability, when we start building systems that support authentic leadership, when we create spaces where people can bring their whole selves to their work, we don't just change individual lives, we begin to transform the very structures that have kept too many voices silent and too many gifts hidden. The world doesn't need more people burning themselves out in pursuit of an impossible standard of perfection. It needs leaders who have the courage to be real, to ask for help, to show up with both brilliance and humanity. So I leave you with this call to action. Tomorrow, take one step toward more authentic leadership. Share something you're struggling with. Ask for help when you need it. Create space for someone else to be vulnerable. Build a system of support for yourself or others. Because the revolution we need won't come through more armor. It will come through the radical power of vulnerability, through leaders who have the courage to be fully human, fully seen, and fully engaged in creating a world where everyone can thrive. Thank you.